Oh, nice. Here we go.
So introducing to you first, our fighter in the blue corner, fighting in the green, James Amos!
So we've got James Amos, Team Drag. Actually comes out of a gym called Impact Gym down in Bristol. As we talked about this earlier, I mean, really good MMA program, and the jiu-jitsu is all done through Team Drag under Ash Williams and Josh Williams. James actually had an issue with his flights. He was supposed to fly up yesterday, but there was an issue with his flight, so he ended up having to drive up here today at midnight last night, and had to stop every now and again just to get a sleep, and then ended up sleeping in the car park of the Lochgelly Centre. But fellow Mustang, I call him Mustang. Anybody over the age of 40 is still competing in jiu-jitsu, we call Mustangs because we're like an old car that just keeps going.
Love it.
Not just any old car, a vintage car. I see James up on his own as well. So you've got nobody in his corner. There's nobody giving him any instructions, but I mean, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it at all. So. And then we've got the wild man, Pennie, Catch 22 Dundee.
You always know when they've got a mullet, they mean business.
Yeah. So you're going to see some crazy stuff from Lewis. Lewis is he just does some crazy things in jiu-jitsu and grappling, and he definitely makes it look entertaining.
So this is the first match in our Jiu-Jitsu Purple Belt 4-man event. Pennie versus James Amos. Here we go.
So look for Lewis to pull guard or step down. I don't know if that was a step down or more of a push down.
So Lewis a guard player?
Yeah. James just making it uncomfortable, pulling his head right in towards him. James just got control of Lewis's right arm, or he did have. So there we go. So Lewis attempt to go for an arm here. Yeah, James very experienced, spotted that straight away.
James looks much bigger than Lewis, much thicker.
Yeah. I think I made an open man, so I think Lewis probably, if I'm right, probably is under 70. And if I'm right, James are under 88.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably a good 15-20 kilo of difference. Just to see what Lewis is doing here. Still got that guard on. James tried to swap the hands. So see what James is doing with the hand there? He's now swapping the arm over. So what he's now doing, he's now cut off everything on this side, bar Lewis's right leg. And that's the only thing he needs to do to then be able to pass the guard.
So he's controlling Lewis's right hand. Got it pinned behind him.
Also makes it difficult for Lewis to try and advance position or to even attack in any way, because he's only got one arm at the moment.
Oh, he's throwing up a triangle. Wow, amazing flexibility.
Yeah.
That kind of hip mobility is just so difficult to pass a guard like that.
James also voted Team Drag's, I believe it was Athlete of the Year last year. And again, to get that voted in Team Drag is unbelievable, considering the level that comes out of Team Drag. And he was so happy. I remember talking to him after it, and he was so happy he got promoted belts, and obviously getting that Athlete of the Year was like the icing on the cake. So James just almost passing Gardain. He's got Lewis pushed right up against the fence. So again, this is going to make it a little bit more difficult for Lewis to try and advance anything. So he's going for that arm again. Yeah, looking at James. James not too worried here. So Lewis coming out of catch-22 under Sean Voss. So Sean Voss, a real grappling black belt, awesome guy, big cuddly bear. So trains with the likes of Andrew Marley. We hear Fraser Clark in the back there. So Fraser Clark in the other semi-final later on tonight.
Ooh. Good opportunity for James to pass here.
Yeah, Lewis is. Yes, he did have that triangle there, but James had both. So it looks like James is now out here. He's into north-south.
Yep.
Yeah, now into side control. So this is where James. This is where James wants to be.
The Americana grip there.
Now he's using his knee to trap Lewis's arm. Yeah. Great movement there by Lewis to try and retain there.
Ooh.
So back to north-south here.
Ooh, that top pressure of James Amos must be exhausting to try to keep off you.
So Lewis retained, as he was past there. James was past, but retained in the south, and now he's back again into north-south position.
But Lewis recovers the guard nicely.
I mean, even though there's a big weight difference, I mean, Lewis is doing okay here. The good thing about this matchup as well is between now and the final, it's a long time away. So it means that they've got a lot of time to kind of rest, recuperate, and then be fresh for later on in the final. Straight back, Lewis is trying something. I mean, you need to try and. With Lewis, you can't really count Lewis out at any moment because he can catch you. He can be completely down.
Great knee cut pass there.
Yeah. But Lewis can be completely down and catch you with a submission in the last 5 seconds.
Like
I mean,
now.
Straight on the arm.
He is. That's the tricky thing with when you're against someone who's so unorthodox as well. It's that when they're just chucking submissions up from somewhere you'd never expect, so easy to get caught off guard.
So flexible as well, Lewis. I mean, it's very, very difficult. I know that James has done it, few times past that guard, but what James has done, he's passed it this north-south and then into side control, which is where he's been having success from. Lewis just shouting the time. See, this is a difficult one to score, right? Because what you've had, you had James Amos all over the top of Lewis, right? He's been all over him. He's passed his guard. He's scored points if it was a point-scoring position. But what Lewis has done, Lewis has had a couple of near submission attempts. Nothing concrete, but he's obviously had a couple of armbar attempts. He's thrown up a couple of triangle attempts, but nothing actually been secured. So how do you score it? Or how do the judges see it?
Yep.
Are they going to see it based on positional dominance or near submission attempts? So
glad I'm not a judge.
for me, I think the rules set, and again from being in Jiu-jitsu, I think they're probably going to go with the submission attempts. They weren't in, right? They've not been, because a submission attempt, if I put you in a choke, if your face goes red and then you get out of it, that's a submission attempt, right? If I get you in an armbar and it's locked out, right, then you get out of it, that's a submission attempt. But Lewis hasn't had that. He's not had a locked out armbar. He hasn't had a locked in triangle. So I think from a judge's point of view, I would probably say that James Amos is winning it at the moment.
And do you think there's still a bias against kind of guard players because of maybe the MMA context? You know, like in Jiu-jitsu, obviously the guard is a neutral position, but
I think
mixed martial arts, you don't really want to be on the bottom.
Yeah, I think in some, maybe in some rule sets, yeah. Because things like ADCC, you pull guard in ADCC, it's a penalty point. So you lose points because of it. But I think with this, as the way they're looking at it, positional dominance, you've got to say that James Amos is possibly taking that there. Everybody hates guard pullers. Everybody hates guard pullers.
They do.
So we go to this, and we go to the referee's decision. In favour of the blue corner, James Amos. Make sure you appreciate it for the runner-up, Pennie.
So there we go, James Amos moving into the final. So James Amos, Team Drag. I know that Team Drag, some of Team Drag will probably be watching this. So big shout out to Team Drag.